How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to an episode of the Ranked Report. This week we have, well, this will be the final week of Regulation C, first of all. Next week we'll be beginning of Regulation D, a whole new format. Which, I mean, for the first time in Scarlet and Violet, it really does feel like it's an entirely new format rather than just an update of the previous ones. So much new stuff has been added. If you don't know, it's a bunch of like Pokemon from other games are now accessible through Pokemon Home, which includes things like the Genies, which is Tornadus, Thundurus, Landorus. Ursaluna's is in the game now, Cresselia's back. There's a bunch of stuff. Basically, Urshifu is a big worry. But yeah, that is going to be starting next week. But we've got 1 week of Regulation C, so let's make the most of it. We are using Orthworm this week. Orthworm kind of had popularity here and there in waves. So I think I can't for the life of me remember where I got this exact team from. I just found it on Twitter, and I apologise. That's my bad. If anyone knows who the creator of this team is, then please do let me know. I will put their Twitter in my description. But yeah, Orthworm has kind of seen bits of success here and there. It had a reasonable run at, I think, EUIC. It's kind of cropped up in a couple of Japanese tournaments, I think. But basically, the principle behind it is you run a defensive set on this thing with Earth Eater, and then you put it next to like a Tinglu, or in this case as well a Dragonite with Earthquake, and you hit it with ground moves to heal it up, whilst making it a very scary threat with potentially Iron Defense Body Press. Heavy Slam also does a reasonable amount of damage because it's a heavy Pokemon that's got Stab, and Shed Tail is a very, very good move. So what happens on this team, a lot of the time this archetype, you'll see a fair amount, the kind of Orthworm, Dragonite, and Shed Tail combo, is you can use a slow Shed Tail with Orthworm, and what that does, for anyone who doesn't know, it's a new move. Takes away half your HP, puts up a substitute, and then passes that substitute into a Pokemon in the back. So it's kind of like Bat and Pass and Substitute in one move. It doesn't pass any stat boosts, I should say, but it's kind of Bat and Pass Substitute in one move, except it takes half your HP instead of the quarter that Sub normally takes. And then a Pokemon in the back comes in with the substitute up. So how that normally happens on this team will be you'll have your Dragonite in the back end, you will pass your sub onto your Multiscale Dragonite, and then potentially Multiscale, because you're at full HP, means that you can live a hit with the substitute, so substitute doesn't break immediately, and you can set up a Dragon Lance with your Dragonite while safely behind the sub. So it's an interesting strategy, and then with that Dragonite, again, you can bring in your Chien-Pao in the back, and then just start doing damage with Dragonite. You can put the Dragonite next to Tinglu, start summoning Earthquake, you can bring your Orthworm back in next to Dragonite, spam Earthquake with the Dragonite instead. You've got Rotom as well, which you can press Earthquake next to with Tinglu and Dragonite. So that's kind of how the core fundamentally works. I think Orthworm and Dragonite are kind of the two key pieces of that, and then you can kind of surround them with whatever's fitting. The rest of the team is pretty standard. You have Choice Spam Tinglu, which you don't see very often. But on teams like this, if you're just free to click Earthquake forever, then I think having Choice Spam is not necessarily a bad thing. You've also got Bulldoze there, which is nice speed control next to Dragonite or Rotom. And then Throat Chop Rock Slide just gives you another stab because of coverage. Pretty standard Chien-Pao as well. Sucker Punch, Ice Spin, Haze Protect. You'd often see like a Sacred Sword or something, or another dark move in place of Haze, but this one is Haze, I guess. Like Intimidate could be annoying for this team. I could see Dondozo being a problem for it as well. Safety Goggles Rotom is actually really interestingly cool. I think this was mostly designed to be an anti-meta pick. Actually, back around the time of the UIC, there was a game I played on stream against Colin Hire, who was using Goggles Rotom, and it just destroyed my team. And it's really, really good into like the Palafin balance stuff that was going around at the time, because it doesn't really care about Palafin's water moves that much. Can threaten it back with T-Bolt and Will-O-Wisp. It's immune to all of the moves and stuff. Doesn't really care about Arcanine, can Hydro Pump it. And this one is running Helping Hand, which I believe is a new move this gen for Rotom. I've never seen it before this gen, at least. So you can bring that in next to your Dragon Dancing, Dragonite, go like Helping Hand, Terrapass, Helping Hand, Earthquake, whatever. And then lastly, Flutter Mane. This one is Icy Wind, which makes me think it's probably booster energy for speed rather than special attack. I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not 100% certain what the photosynthesis boost is, but I would guess speed if it's running Icy Wind. So that's again just nice speed control next to Dragonite Chien-Pao. One of Dragonite's big weaknesses a lot of the time is that its natural speed is not very high, it's only base 80. So having some speed control next to it is super helpful. You see that with the Bulldoze and the Icy Wind there. But yeah, that's the team. It's weirdly not as niche as you think it is with Orthworm. A lot of the time I'll say like, oh, this team is super interesting. Like, this team is closer to standard than you'd expect it to be. But nonetheless, I haven't used Orthworm at all on this channel. I think it's an interesting one to highlight before I think it just kind of completely disappears, because I cannot see anyone using Orthworm in Regulation D. But yeah, that's the team. Let's jump into some battles. Okay, for our first battle, we're up against an opposing Dragonite as well. This one has Great Tusk as the Earthquake user instead of Tinglu. Yeah, this is relatively standard Sun stuff. Tailwind, Murkrow, Sunny Day. I guess usually these teams are Scarf, Great Tusk. It's not guaranteed, but yeah, Murkrow wants to set up Sun, get Photosynthesis boosts for Flutter Mane and Dondozo. Support Golden Go with Tailwind and Haze. Not the easiest matchup to start with. I think Rotom's pretty good here. I just need to be careful of like a taunt on Murkrow. I guess I can just Hydro Pump around and T-Bolt around taunts. But I think the threat of Will-O-Wisp and T-Bolt is super nice here. I do kind of like a Rotom lead. Can I go Orthworm? Orthworm honestly doesn't seem awful here. So if I go Terra Fire, Great Tusk isn't really threatening it that much. Heavy Slam will take out Flutter Mane. Golden Go's a bit annoying. Yeah, that lead does lead me a little bit weak to Golden Go. But I mean, I can always just switch in Tingle or something in the back if I want to get around that. And then last I bring, I think just check what's yeah. So you're going to be Speed Booster, right? Yeah. Okay, just red. Okay. So the Speed Booster Flutter could be kind of useful with the Tailwind up, I think. I think I prefer it to Chen Power this matchup and do this. I guess Sash could have been super nice to get around Tailwind turns, but oh well. And the ability to just outspeed Scarf Tusk is super nice. Obviously want Tailwind down. Dragonite Tusk, okay. This feels like a super good lead for me. I'm a little worried about this being Lumberry Dragonite. I could Shed Tail here, but I don't really have anything in the back I really need to Shed Tail into. I think I'd rather just go for Body Press setup straight away here. Try and burn the Dragonite, but what is Lum on this team? Or is there a Lumberry kind of vibe? I'm just going to burn the Tusk and go for Terra Fire and Iron Defense, I think. Rotom. Oh, they're probably doubling down Rotom then, aren't they? Oh no, they split. Split the damage, that's fine. Yeah, I got off, that's really good. I also think that's banded E-speed damage from Dragonite. As a guess. Like, with no Chen Power, no Terra, that's a lot of damage for an extreme speed. Should I go for like Heavy Slam? Here's another E-speed. Is that just a high roll? It is just a high roll. That's a very important high roll, in fact. That did no damage. Jesus. Okay. Citrus. Very cool. Big crits. Okay. So I could go Flutter here. I'm pretty sure they're locked into close combat and E-speed. So I could just capitalize on this and go Flutter Mane here. think they're locked into moves they can't really play around. Question is, where does the double down go? I think I double down to one of these slots just to cover switch-ins. Moon plus body press covers pretty much everything here. With the exception of Golden Go, I don't think you want to risk switching Golden Go in here. I have Team Look back if they do. What's better than... I mean, they're going to switch here. If they stay in, I don't care. Maybe... No, Shadow Ball's actually better here. Shadow Ball's way better. Shadow Ball catches every switch in. I don't really care about Burn Great. I'm going to go Shadow Ball Body Press into the Dragonite. And then it just catches anything that could come in. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Choice Magic. That's gone. Okay. Oh, actually, is it? No, it's Speed, but it's not supposed to have it. That's fine because it's got next turn, which is arguably better. Just put something again. Yeah, this is fine. This is really fine. Really press it's nothing, but now I'm faster. Put my flutter into their flutter, so I can just go for a Shadow Ball. And I will go for an Iron Fence. Okay, Tusk goes out. It's probably Protect on the flutter, isn't it? What's the Pro? Yeah, I'm not Protect. That's fine. Is that fine? Maybe that isn't fine. They have to Tailwind here, because they've seen that my Flutter is faster than theirs because of the speed booster. So they're forced to go Tailwind. I guess they probably want to try and Shadow Ball my Flutter, right? So I can go into Tinglu here. This is really obvious though, is the problem. Yes. Tinglu. Yep. Good the Tinglu. It's Life Orb, yeah. Okay, good Tinglu switching from me. I'm gonna have to lock into something with Tinglu there. The question is, what do I lock into? I think it's Rock Slide, right? I think that has to be. I mean, this dude's dead. I'll try and body press the growth, but that really makes a difference. I kind of wish I'd gone for a Shed Tail early game here, actually. Like, I think setting up with Orthworm right off the bat is maybe not the right idea, especially when I don't have the right positioning to try and keep it healthy. Foul play. Maybe kill. No, it doesn't. That's hilarious. Bandit low kick does a lot of damage. Okay, nice Rock Slide. Okay. I think I win though now, because they can't hit my Flutter with Dragonite, so it's just effectively a 1v1 with Tusk, but Tusk is burned. So I think I win. And I'll click Rock Slide again because I have to. And I will... I guess I'll just press the Tusk. They're forced to Headlong Rush my... what's that? They're forced to Headlong Rush the Tinglu and Low Kick, I think. Which gives me a double KO. Yeah, there's the Headlong Rush. Again, for sure, banded. Okay, so they can't hit Flutter me with Dragonite now. Which means I just need to survive a single burned Headlong Rush. Oh wait, they still have Terror, don't they? Hold on. Don't have that Terror. Do they still have the Terror? Yeah, they do. Okay. I'm gonna protect this turn just to scout for Terror, I think. Yeah. Okay. Let's throw ground. Okay. Give this Terra ground. I wonder if it's not going from Icy Wind there. So I have a suspicion this is Scarf. Yeah. They'll be -2. I don't think I want to risk a miss is the issue. I think like they'll be at -2 after Headlong Rush. I'm pretty sure we lost pick up from it. Yeah, I'll be fine. If not, just so. Get some burn chip. Rush, I should love this. Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, okay, good. No reason to risk the issue in this. And yeah, this thing's locking blow kick, so I just need to clip before it starts struggling, which won't be a while. Won't be for a while, sorry. Cool. Yeah, I think I played Orthworm wrong in the early game there. I managed to scrape together some positioning late game, but I think the early game setup was not the right move there. I think I should have tried to get something in behind a sub and just start playing aggressively early game. Especially knowing they had Tailwind back end, getting a sub up would have been super useful for something in the back. Because like I was saying, I think trying to set up with Orthworm when you don't have the correct positioning with like a Tinglu or a Dragonite next to it that can heal it up with ground moves, I just don't think it's worth trying to set up with it. Because the thing with the thing with like body press Pokemon, body press iron defense Pokemon, is that if you don't have recovery on them, by the time they're set up enough to do enough damage, they're kind of just dead. Right? And we saw that a bit in that game. Like, Orthworm didn't really do that much, if we're being completely honest. Okay, this is just New Balance, except the Chi is a Braviary. And just fun spoiler alert here, Chi and Braviary are very different Pokemon. So I don't really know what the game plan is here from my opponent. I mean, again, Goggles Rotom seems super good into this. I wonder if we go... Yeah, if we can get Dragonite behind this up, I think Dragonite's also super sick here. So I'm going to do this, and then... Is it Chien-Pao or is it Tinglu? I don't really like Flutter that much here. I guess Flutter is kind of good, but Speed Boost to Flutter just doesn't really threaten very much is the issue. I think I'd rather Tinglu for the opposing Flutter. I mean, or just the Chien-Pao would probably still work. I think the problem with Tinglu is the existence of Gyarados makes it very difficult. That's another problem. Gyarados can taunt me here if there's a Gyarados lead. I mean, I'm leading Rotom, so I should be fine with that, but... I think it's Chien-Pao on the back here. Yeah, Ice also feels like a super strong offensive type into this team. Also, just worst case gives me like Power Knight back end, which is always scary damage. Right, they go for Gyarados and Moongus, that's fine. Worth noting they do not know I'm Goggles on my Rotom, so that's potentially a freebie onto the Gyarados here, if they leave it in. I can't... I can bring in Dragonite here actually, just to eat a Spore or Taunt. Might be worthwhile just to keep my Orthworm awake. I think I'm content to tank the sleep guns. I'll go for a Shed Tail. There's no way they let me get this off, but I'll go for it. Because they might want to switch Gyarados here just because they're worried about T-Bolt, but no, Terra instead of it. I mean, they're often Terra Steel or Terra Poison. Let's see. Terra Steel, yeah, okay, fine. This will be Taunt and Orthworm, but I've gotten a Terra really early, which is good. Rotom's faster than Gyarados. Okay, good to know. That did not do very much. Worm, yeah. There's going to get scored on the worm here as well. Yeah, makes sense. Oh, they spawned Rotom. Okay, so that works for me. The upside of this is they do make their Gyarados now weak to Body Press, which is kind of fun. Can I just T-Ball Body Press the Gyarados? I feel like I can. I could protect Spore Orthworm, but then they just waste a turn of my sleep. Or rather, they waste one of the turns they could be using to capitalize on me being sleep. Let's T-Ball. Anything but Citrus. Paralysis is actually kind of nice here. Means they can't taunt Gyarados. Well, if it could. Oh, it does. Okay. That ends up working out super nicely for me. I could have gone for that stuff on the T-Ball Body Press play, but I figured if they wanted to get greedy and let me get a Shed Tail off, that put me in a really good spot. So Orthworm's asleep, but I've got rid of Gyarados, which is by far the biggest threat, I think, to really either my back-end Pokemon, because that intimidating T-Wave. Dozing like this. And, right. They can't Terra Fire out of the burn here, though. Is very worth noting. And they can't redirect it either, so there's nothing to stop me from just Will-O-Wisping the Iron Hands here. I can trap it from the back end. No, everything just gets burned. Okay. I guess I'll try Shed Tailing again. Oh wait, I'm still taunted from within. I think honestly I'll just burn a sleep turn. No, fuck, I just meant to click a button to burn a sleep turn, but like, I'm so content to leave Rotom in here. Squirtle comes out. I guess this could be, if this is Swords Dance, then this is maybe not the best move. Although if it's Swords Dance, I have Haze Power, so I should be fine. It is Swords Dance, okay. Like I said, I have Haze Power, so I think I'm chilling. One pass. Rotom does not very much, it's fine. The problem is there's no amount of damage I can do that's going to out-damage the hands here. I'm going to burn the Mingus just because I want some long-term chip damage. I'll Shed Tail as well. I'm basically just fishing for a free switch into Shed Power. That's all I'm doing. Skillo, connect on the Mingus. It's fine. Staying asleep, but whatever. Again, I've got Haze Power back in, so as long as I can get that in through, I'm kind of fine. Again, that's an annoying crit. I think that puts me in range of the hands here. I guess I'll just T-Bolt the Mingus. Not very much damage, but some damage, and I will again Shed Tail. T-Bolt comes out. Bit of chip on the Mingus. And I get the Shed Tail off. Okay. Now we're cooking. So, I have a couple options here. I could go Chen Pao. But the problem with Chen Pao is if they go Drain Punch Spore into that slot, I just immediately lose myself and get put to sleep. So I think I'd rather go Dragonite here. Because I think the sub will stay intact if they Drain Punch me, and I won't get spored. So this is a pretty free switch. Drain, yep, okay. This won't break myself through Multiscale, even after all the boost. Okay, they don't even go for the Spore, okay. I could have brought my Chen Pao in there, it would be good just a Haze. But a pretty free Dragon Dance here, right? I'm saving Rotom for anything. Don't bring Tinglu. That must be annoying. I'm going to Orthworm here. I don't think I need Orthworm for anything else at this point. I'm just going to go for Dragon Dance, I think. They're not threatening my Dragonite with a Spore or anything, just a Lumberry. I could also hard switch Chen Power there just for the. Oh wait, no, because Haze is very bad. I'm using Dragon Dance here. That's stupid. Dragon Dance. I think it's Ice Punch. That is annoying. That's very annoying. I mean, it's fine, but it's annoying. Quantum Pass into Orthworm. Okay. Switch. Now this gives me a free Shed Tail. I could Iron Fence here, but I just don't think that's worth it. I think I'll just go for another Shed Tail. And I will Terra Blast Demon this. I've still got Multiscale up on Dragonite. This is what I was saying at the start of the video. This is the power of like Shed Tailing into a Dragonite with Multiscalers. I still have my Multiscale up now. It took 2 hits to break my sub because of Multiscale. And now I still have Multiscale up, so I'll easily tank an Ice Punch here. There's no shot that kills. So protect the Moongus, that's a smart move, but Terra Blast hits nothing. Shed Tail. Water's a little bit rough, but that's fine. Do that later. And yeah, I'll just take the 3 seconds to power here. I may have to haze away my own Dragon Dance boost here, which is a bit unfortunate, but +1 Dragonite will move before Tien Power here anyway, so fine. Can't even get frozen here because of Lumberry. Thank God I had Lumberry. So yeah, what I can do is I can go for Terra Blast here, that'll definitely carry the moves, and then I can just haze away the boost afterwards. I don't think it really matters, to be honest. But okay, gonna haze. And I'll go for Terra Blast here. I'm pretty sure an Ice Punch also won't just, like, well, actually I guess a Wild Charge would probably kill me at this point. With the, like, even with, well, maybe not. I'll be taking half damage. So I'll remove all of their boosts. They're currently at 1.5 times. And I'll be putting them back up to half. So yeah, I don't think Wild Charge will kill actually. They give the double check to Moongus, I think is the correct play, but yeah. Too little too late, I think. Even if they get that, my Dragonite lives another turn, I kill the Moongus the next turn instead. Unless they get the triple effect. At that point I'm just taking the first. Haze away my own Dragon Dance boosts, which feels bad, but I'd rather have an alive Dragonite than a dead Dragonite with a Dragon Dance boost. Oh, I touched that. Do they not have an electric type move? Wild Charge so would have killed me there. Oh, I guess no, obviously they don't, because they're Sword Stance, right? So they're Sword Stance, Drain Punch, Ice Punch. They'll either be Fake Out and Protect in that last slot. So odd. Right, that's fine. I'm just gonna spin into the Flutter Mane and I guess I'll Terra Blast the hands. Terra Blast here. I don't think E-Speed's doing anything relevant. I just wanna, like, this just means that I can pin the hands. Or sorry, pin the Flutter. So if Flutter goes for Protect here to get around the obvious Ice Spinner, I can just get some damage down on the Iron Hands. Okay, they just quit. Nice. A sensible use of Haze at the end of that game. Don't get too attached to your own boosts. Sometimes it's better to get rid of them if it benefits you in the long term. Such as getting rid of all the Iron Hands boosts. Actually, I guess in that situation, would it have been better just to go for damage on Iron Hands? I maybe should have... I could have gone Ice Spinner into the Amoonguss and just Terra Blast the Iron Hands. Plus some Terra Blast would have done a lot of damage. But that may have been the more sensible play, because then, like, even if they take out my Dragonite there, I'm then perfectly well equipped to deal with the back-end Fluttermane, whereas if they get the double Protect, and I go for the Haze there, I get another chance to take out the Amoonguss. I maybe should have gone for damage on the hands there, actually. Maybe I played that in-game kind of sloppy, but... yeah, I think if I was going to Haze, I probably should have done it earlier, actually. It may have been better just to sack the Dragonite in exchange for damage on the Iron Hands. Because, like, if they take out my Dragonite there, the Amoonguss can't Terra out of its Ice Weakness, so it's dead to an Ice Spinner. And then I still have Sub and Sash up on my Chenpao. And I get a bunch of damage down on the Iron Hands, which I think is pretty valuable there. Even a burned Iron Hands can take out a Chenpao late game with Drain Punch. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have actually gone for the Haze there. Oh well. Win's a win, we take it. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. As always, if you enjoyed, please do leave a like on the video, sub to the channel if you have not done so already, and also go follow me on Twitch, link to that is in the description. I'm hoping to start streaming more once Red D comes around, because I will have an online ladder that I'm actually interested in playing. Because I haven't had any competitions in Reg C since like the end of last month, so this whole month of online ladder has just not been useful practice for me. I still enjoy making videos and using new teams and stuff, but my motivation for streaming just hasn't really been there. But if you want to catch Reg D streams, then go follow me on Twitch. Those will start up next week once Reg D is up and running. Hopefully I will see you all there. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.